सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। We read the 18th verse of the 4th chapter. कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत। This is the verse that we discussed last time. Karmani akarmayah pashed. Because Lord Krishna said, Tatte karma pravakshami yajñātva mokshase ashubhat. I will explain to you the nature of karma as well as akarma. Yajñātva mokshase ashubhat. Yajñātva, knowing which? Knowing the true nature of karma as well as akarma. Mokshase ashubhat samsarat. You will become liberated from samsara. We know that it is knowing the nature of self or knowing the nature of Brahman or the truth that one becomes liberated from samsara. Here Lord Krishna says, knowing the essential nature of karma and akarma, you will become liberated from samsara. Which means what we call karma as well as akarma is nothing but Atma. Or how knowing karma correctly, essentially for what it is, we know Atma. In conclusion, last time we had said that karma means action, akarma means inaction. Doing things is simply called karma, and not doing anything is called akarma. So Lord Krishna said, karmani akarmayah pashet. In what is commonly called karma or activity or doing things, at the level of body, level of speech, level of mind. At these three levels we perform actions. So here by the word action is meant just any activity which we normally call action. Akarma yah pashet. One who sees akarma or the actionless. Akarmani karmaya is the second one. One who sees karma or action in what is normally called inaction. So akarma means not doing anything. That one who sees action involved even in not doing anything is the second aspect. More important aspect is seeing akarma, the actionless in karma. Karma or action can be performed when there is karta, the doer. So what this verse means is that generally when we perform karma, perform any action, such as right now I am performing the act of speaking and I look on myself as a speaker. You are performing the act of listening and you look upon yourself as listeners. So this is the perception that we usually have about ourselves. What is important here is not so much the perception about karma as much as the perception about the self. Because as Puja Samaji would say, you are the problem, you are the solution. What is meant is that your perception about yourself is a problem and your perception about yourself is a solution. Or meaning that the wrong perception you have about yourself is a problem and the right perception that you should have is a solution. So we have said this earlier, that in the vision of Vedanta there is no problem really. What we can call problem. Again, remembering Puja Swamiji. Swami used to say, psychology cannot solve the problem and Vedanta does not see the problem. And since the fact remains that we have problems in life, and then we try to solve those problems, whatever they are. Problem can be success, failure, honor, dishonor, pleasure, pain, comfort, discomfort, employment, unemployment, income, lack of income. etc. There are problems. These are all situations. And any situation can become a problem if there is the fundamental problem of the false perception about my own self. So thus when I am right now performing the act of speaking, I have a perception of myself. What is it? I am a speaker. And most likely, when you're listening to these words, you have a perception about yourself, you are listener. Vedanta teaches that both speaking as well as listening does not belong where we think it does. We think that it belongs at the level of the self. The answer is both speaking and hearing, speaking and not speaking, doing and not doing. Both of them belong to the non-self, not the self. In this case, what is the not-self? In case of speaking, the organ of speech would be called non-self. And for bringing into operation the organ of speech also requires mind. So mind, organ of speech, the body where the organ of speech resides, all of this is where actually action belongs. All of that is non-self, upadhi, or the costume. And when this act of speaking is taking place, what is the status of Atma, state of self, what is the status of I? Even though I declare that I am a speaker, or I may declare that I am a listener, what I am habitually doing is placing I am and speaker in the same location, same adhikaranam, meaning that giving them the same reality. There is no doubt I am. There is no doubt speaking, both are there. But when I say I am a speaker, the speaker is given the status of I am. I am is the true nature of the self. To be is the nature of myself. To shine is the nature of myself. And speaking is the nature of the organ of speech, the anatma, the costume, the upadhi. So ignorance makes me do this. These two things that in fact belong to two different entities are thought to belong to the same entity. So I am is speaking. The one who is speaking is I am. That is the equation that takes place in my mind. Whenever any action takes place, speaking is an example of an action. So Lord Krishna says in this, one who says akarma, inaction, actionlessness. The I am part is actionless. The I am does not perform any action. It just is. It just shines. The I am is self-existent, self-shining, and self-sufficient. Asti, bhati, priyam, or happiness, or purnam. So that I am which is Purnam, which is complete or filled in all directions, which is limitless, boundless. No activity is even possible there because activity requires movement. Chalanatmakam karma. Karma or action requires chalana, movement at some place, some point in time. But I am is filled in all directions. There is nothing that is devoid of I am. Therefore, there can be no movement in I am. Anejadekam is anejat, the one that does not move. Ekam, one non-dual. So what we need to do is to recognize this. This is called viveka or discrimination. To recognize that I am belongs to one adhikaranam, one locus, and speaking belongs to another adhikaranam, another locus. I am belongs to Atma, the Self, the substratum, adhishthanam, paramadik satta, the absolute reality. And that is called absolute reality, which will always be, which will always shine, will always be experienced. That's called absolute reality. At all times, at all places, under all conditions. The I am always is, always shines, is always experienced. And that is the reason why misconception about I am is possible. Because I am is always experienced, being my own nature, self-shining. And when the act of speaking takes place, speaking also is experienced, although at a different level. The I am is asmat pratyaya, the speaking is yushmat pratyaya. One is subject, other is object. They do not obtain in the same location. But still, so viruddha svabhava, Bhashyakara says in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya introduction, Yusmat asmat pratyaya gocharayoho Vishaya vishayano Tamah prakashavad viruddha svabhavayoho. Vishaya, the object, Vishaya, the subject. Tamah prakashavad, the object is dark, achetan, unconscious. The subject is chetanam, conscious, self-shining. Paraspara viruddha svabhavayoho. Even though the nature of two is quite contrary, because darkness cannot belong where the light is, and still itaretara bhavapattihi. Somehow there is the itaretara bhavapattihi. One has acquired the nature of the other, other has acquired the nature of one. So I am somehow acquires the nature of speaking, or speaker. And speaker acquires the nature of I am. Doesn't happen. This Maya just creates this kind of appearance. Brahman, illusion. So this is what Lord Krishna addresses. That while performing any action, look at the perception that you have about yourself. Look at the conclusion you have about yourself. That I am a speaker, I am a listener. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. Understand that I am is akarma, is actionless. The speaker is where the karma is, but I am is actionless. We have lumped together the action and actionless. This is what ignorance creates. Thus in any action. Therefore to see I am, to see myself who is always experienced, understand. I do not have to create an experience of myself because experience is my nature. It is understanding what is being experienced already. So when I declare I am a speaker, to understand this statement correctly, Lord Krishna says that in karma, in the speaker, the I am is the akarma, the actionless. So whenever action takes place, whatever action takes place, action can be classified as karma, akarma, vikarma. Karma can be said to be action, akarma, inaction, vikarma, wrong action, prohibited action. Whichever way you want to interpret these words, whatever the action is, as far as seeing the self is concerned, no karma, good, bad or indifferent, can ever take place without I am, which is the very substratum, the very basis which gives the lifeblood to the karma, which gives satta, sphurti, the existence as well as intelligence to this upadhi, which can then perform karma. See that I am. In any karma, one who sees that I am is the self-shining substratum, non-negatable, self-shining, self-existing. The speaker comes and goes, the hearer comes, goes, the walker comes and goes. That other aspect is changing aspect. I am a speaker, I am a hearer, I am a listener, I am a thinker, I am a talker, I am a walker. That keeps coming and going. In all those changes that take place, the platform on which all these changes take place is I am, which is ever self-shining, ever constant. Yah pashyed. All samsara belongs to the speaker, the hearer, the walker, the talker, all samsara. Because speaker, hearer, walker, talker, however great it is still limited and separated from others. So when I declare myself a speaker, hearer, walker, talker, anything that I declare myself, I cannot avoid the idea of being limited. I cannot avoid the idea of being separated from others, being isolated from others. The idea of separatedness, being excluded, isolated, limited, confined, all of these ideas are invariably associated with the speaker, hearer, thinker, whatever the role is. Every role is separate from others, confined, limited, and therefore unhappy. Where there is limitedness, there is unhappiness, there is samsara. So I am is a samsari and speaker is samsari, and we are lumping together. So samsaritvam, the limitedness, the unhappiness, the isolation of the samsari is lumped with I am, and I am is thought to be samsari. Lord Krishna says, karmani akarmayah pashyed. While performing any karma, recognize that this I am, which is self-shining, self-sustaining, self-sufficient, which cannot be non-negatable, and therefore the essential nature. Akarma is karma is okay. Because I said last time, karma means activity, action. Akarma inaction, doing something or not doing something, both of them belong to an Atma. Both of them belong to the Upadhi, to the Vesha. And we said that it is the nature of this body-mind-sense complex, which is the product of Prakriti or matter. And it is the nature of matter that it can never be constant. Matter is created and it always changes. Whether we may be able to notice that change or not, but it is the nature of matter to always change, undergo modification, vikara, movement is the nature of matter. Therefore, matter can never be inactive. You can restrain it from activity, that you can do. Something wants to move and you restrain it from movement, that we can do as far as the body-mind-sense complex is concerned, whose nature is to do something, we can restrain it by our will. And then say that I am not doing anything. But when I declare I am not doing anything, then also the action of restraining this upadhi is involved. In that sense, Lord Krishna says that even in action, which belongs to the matter, the upadhi, there also action of restraining this upadhi from its natural movement is involved. Therefore, when one says, I am not doing anything, you must know that some doing is involved of restraining the upadhi from its habit of doing things. You can change the habit perhaps by constantly restraining for a long time. Chitta vritti nirodha, all the chitta vrittis completely subside, that may be so. And that state may help you to see the true nature of self. But here, regardless of what the state of the upadhi is, one can be aware of I am, as the truth which sustains that, which imparts existence to that, which illumines that. Sabuddhiman manusya. So knowing this, knowing nature of karma, akarma, vikarma is knowing the nature of self, really, actionless self. In which case, karma becomes only a gateway of knowing Atma. So karma, akarma, vikarma, anything, any action becomes a dvaram, a gateway for knowing the Atma, the self, which is the illuminator of that, which imparts satta, spurti, existence, awareness to that, which is a very substratum, ever present. So then karma, you take away the attention from karma and focus attention on I am. So this is how the wise person has a freedom. This process of focusing attention on I am, of course with the help of the Shruti, where we have been told what nature of I am is, how it is Brahman, etc. Sabuddhiman manusyeshu. It is possible that one can abide in this knowledge that I am is the essential nature of myself, regardless of what the status of the upadhi is, the prakriti is, the costume is. The costume is doing activity, still I am. Costume is not doing activity, doesn't change I am. Sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktaha krishna karma krut. So this wise person is praised in the second line, that manusheshu sabuddhiman. Among human beings, because other people have no scope of gaining this knowledge. Only human being is qualified to gain the knowledge. Buddhiman, he is really possessed of the buddhi. He abundantly possesses intelligence. He is a wise person. Yukta, he is a yogi. Krishna karma krit. His is gain fulfillment in life. So this is a verse which is the central verse like in the 4th chapter. Continuing now with the 19th verse, Bhashyakara says, Tadetat karmani akarmadi yathokta darshitvam stuyate. As far as Bhashyakara is concerned, the subsequent verses are only stuyate, are stuti, extolling, praising this karmani akarmadi yathokta darshitvam. Yathokta darshitvam, seeing things as they are, seeing akarmas, actionless atma in karma, and recognizing that action, inaction, both of them belong to upadhi. That's called akarmecha karmayaha. Meaning that one knows the essential nature of the self as well as the non-self. The doing and non-doing, both of them belong to the upadhi, to the costume, to the non-self, to the body-mind sense complex. And when all of these activities or inactivities are at this level, the self is always asti bhati priyam satyam jnananandam nitya shuddha buddha mukta na jayate mariyate va ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana. So this vision, this knowledge is extolled in the following verses. Well, we can say that the following verses describe the wise person really. So Lord Krishna does take the opportunity to describe the wise person wherever the opportunity comes, wherever the occasion comes. Because he is the role model for us. And Lord Krishna describes his lakshana, or characteristics. What is effortless for him? What is effortless or spontaneous for the wise person? It's called lakshanam. So what is the lakshanam, the essential nature, or how the wise person spontaneously is, becomes the sadhanam, becomes the means or value for the seekers. So we can emulate this person. In the 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna described the wise person, sthita prajna, with reference to knowledge. Sthita, stira, prajna, yasya sa. The one whose prajna or wisdom is sthita, steady or abiding. A person of abiding knowledge. Same person here. However, the same person is described here with reference to karma. And therefore, we can emulate the wisdom of the wise person as described in the 2nd chapter. We can emulate the karma and of course the wisdom of the wise person or the great karma yogi as described here. Because sayukta, he is a yukta yogi also. We call him karma yogi, but not karma yogi in terms of the one who thinks that I am performing action. That's the regular karma yogi, who performs actions as a contributor, as an offering to Ishvara. But that karma yogi ultimately evolves into a person who spontaneously does those actions. A karma yogi performs right actions deliberately. Because in the mind there are tendencies to take shortcuts. There are tendencies to compromise. Because there are some agendas that we have. And whenever doing something right or doing something properly is inconvenient or becomes an obstacle to accomplishing that agenda which is dear to our heart, then it's likely that what is right may be compromised. So, because there are worldly agendas in our mind, therefore the tendency to compromise is always there. And therefore karma yogi is a deliberate person who keeps that tendency under check. His mind also may say, come on, doesn't matter, do it. He will not do that. So karma yogi is a deliberate person. It has been said earlier, the Bhagavad Gita talks about three kinds of persons. One is an impulsive person, who is controlled by the impulses of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, etc. Impulsive person, absolute samsari. Other is a deliberate person, who is a yogi. And third is a spontaneous person, who also can be called yogi. That's the word we have. So the Bhagavad Gita would use the word yogi for a deliberate person as well as a spontaneous person. So here is a yogi, sayukta, krishna karma krit. The 18th verse said that he is yukta, he is yogi. So this is a yogi which is a spontaneous person. Meaning that by being a yogi who is a deliberate person, by deliberately doing what is right, by deliberately having attitudes that are right, by deliberately trying to think what is right, a time comes when we spontaneously become right. So, this is a spontaneous person. And that person is beautifully described in the next few verses. As far as Bhashyakara is concerned, it is stuti, arthavada, for supporting the vision given in the 18th verse. We can learn a lot from these verses also. So let us read the verse number 19. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahuh panditam buddha. Yasya sarve samarambhaha. Yasya of the one, sarve all, samarambhaha some arabh. arambhaha, samarambhaha. So, sam means samyak arabhyante iti samarambhaha. So, those which are very well commenced or performed, in this case, samarambha karmani, all the actions. So one, because it's called samarambha, because we deliberately undertake an action. Samarambha. So, samyak arambhate, so it amounts to saying karmani, yes sarve karmani, sarvani karmani. So what is the special about the karma being performed by the wise person? Or not so much about karma, but about the attitude and understanding that goes while performing karma. So Lord Krishna says, samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha. Varjitaha, devoid of. Kama, desire. Sankalpa. So what would the word sankalpa mean here? Sankalpa is that which is the cause of kama or desire. So that which causes a desire is called sankalpa. Meaning that whenever we have a desire, there is always a sankalpa which causes that desire. So word sankalpa has several meanings. In this particular context, the word sankalpa can mean will or resolve. But here, sankalpa is that which causes kama. Samyak kalpanam, imagining, projecting. Or it is described as samichinatva buddhi. Looking upon something as samichinam, looking upon something as good, as useful, as likable, as a source of happiness. Now, this is the kind of conclusion that we have in our mind. There is something out there which is there. So when I come in contact with whatever it is, a thing or a being, sentient or insentient, whatever it is, usually it creates in me some kind of inner response. Which good? Dhyayato vishyan pumsa. So I say it's good. That's one way of looking at it. It's useful, likable, source of happiness, source of comfort. So sankalpa samichinatva buddhi means that looking upon something which may be a sentient or insentient being as samichinam, as something good, useful, a source of happiness. So what is sankalpa? Looking upon something as a source of happiness. Now that is the sankalpa, the conclusion that takes place in my mind. When my mind comes in contact with something, then some response occurs from my mind. It's likable, dislikable, or I can be indifferent also. I may like something, may dislike something, or I may be indifferent to that. So when I come in contact with something, when my mind concludes I like it or I dislike it, then that is a sankalpa or conclusion which has the potential of creating a desire. When I like something, look upon something as a source of happiness or comfort, then I want to have it. Because happiness I always desire, comfort I always desire. Not only do I desire happiness because my conclusion about myself is that I am unhappy as I am. I am uncomfortable as I am. That's the basic conclusion or sankalpa about myself. I am inadequate. I am not quite what I want to be. I am not where I should be, etc., etc. Meaning that I am not happy or comfortable with myself as I am right now. Whatever be the reason for my being unhappy with myself, and usually the reason for my being unhappy with myself is that in my own perception, I am not able to live up to my own expectation of what I should be. I expect myself to be a successful person, a wise person, a wealthy person, a powerful person, a capable person, whatever, some expectation is there. And in my own perception, when I see that that is not what I am really, then I am not able to meet with my own expectation. Which is when I become unhappy with myself. So this unhappiness with myself is an undercurrent that is usually there in my mind. And that is what makes me project something upon other things. Because I look upon myself as an unhappy person as I am, therefore something looks to me like a potential source of happiness. Or a potential source of causing more unhappiness. So it is my perception of myself that I am inadequate, I am unhappy, I am not quite what I should be. That is what makes my mind project upon other things, that may possibly remove or help me overcome this deficiency within myself, that will give me something because which I'll be happy with myself. So projection upon myself is what causes projection upon other things. So usually when a person performs actions are prompted by karma or desires. Desire can be to acquire something that I like or to get rid of something that I dislike. Raga, attachment, I like, that also can cause desire to acquire something, possess it, enjoy it. And dvesha or aversion also can cause desire of avoiding something, getting rid of something. These raga dveshas both are the result of my perception of something as a source of happiness or unhappiness, source of comfort or discomfort. Who is at the door? This person. Don't open the door, please out. Yes, while walking, sometimes taking walk in the morning, you find a person coming from the other direction, you just chain the sidewalk. Moment he sees you, Swami, he'll take 15 minutes. Don't want to avoid. Or you see some person on the other pavement, and you chain the pavement to meet that person because you like to talk to that person. So how we are drawn to something that we like and the other way around, we avoid something that we dislike. So this like and dislike, both of them cause actions. So samaramvaha. So we examine the nature of action that normally we perform, which are motivated by karma or desire, to acquire, possess, enjoy something that is likable, something that is looked upon as a source of happiness or comfort, or a desire to avoid or get rid of something which I look upon as a source of unhappiness, discomfort. And this desire in turn is caused from sankalpa, a result of sankalpa, that thing is a source of happiness or unhappiness, which in turn is a result of my perception of myself that I am inadequate, I am unhappy. If you understand this process, then we can understand this expression. Yasya sarve samaramvaha kama sankalpa varjitaha. Here is the wise person. Yasya samaramvaha, whose all undertakings, all actions are kama sankalpa varjitaha. Meaning that a wise person also may appear to perform action that we perform, Agnihotradi karma or any Vedic karma, Laukika karma, worldly action. The only difference is that his action is not performed from any complex about himself. The complex or conclusion about myself causes complex or conclusion about the world or the things, which in turn cause the karma or the desire. And those karmas actually are the motive force of my actions. He performs actions, but he doesn't have any complex about himself. He doesn't think that he's a needy person, that he's in need of happiness or comfort because he discovered himself as happiness. Sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. The second line of 18th verse describes this person as kritsna karma krit, one who has done everything that needs to be done. Then nothing needs to be done. Tasya karyam na vidyate. The third chapter, Lord Krishna describing a person like that says, Tasya karyam na vidyate. There's nothing that this person has to do. There's no compulsion in this person that he has to do. When I'm unhappy, there's a compulsion in me that I must get rid of the unhappiness. Even when I'm happy also, there's a compulsion that I must retain that happiness, not let it go. When happiness and unhappiness both are states of mind, both of them create desires or compulsions. Krishna karma krit, but here he discovered himself to be completely fulfilled. And that will be described in the next verse. Therefore, he knows himself as a complete person. Atmaneva atmanatushta, satisfied with himself by himself. Meaning that there is no projection upon the self. He sees the self as the self is. Therefore, no projection upon things. He sees them as they are. And the entities in the world are neither source of happiness nor source of unhappiness. We project these things upon them. He doesn't project. So for them, everything is fine as it is. No need to change anything. No need to possess anything. No need to get rid of anything. No need to change anything. Therefore there is no sankalpa that this is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that. So there is no desire to fulfill that sankalpa. And still there is karma. So Lord Krishna says, Yasya sarve samarambaha kama sankalpa varjitaha. Yasya sarve samarambaha, when all the undertakings are devoid of desire as well as sankalpa, need. Free from desire and free from need. Because the desire is to fulfill some need. So what sort of actions he performs? Mudha eva chesta matra anusthiyante. Bhashyakara is Mudha eva chesta matra. Chesta matra. They are just chesta. They are not, as in Vedanta says that when you take away the fangs from the snake, when the poison is removed, the snake is only in appearance, but there is no real snakeness. So kama sankalpa are the fangs, the poison in the karma, which is what binds us. When kama sankalpa is not there, karma is not really karma, other than in appearance is karma. Chesta matraha. So the wise person's karma is only chesta, activities are there, but there is no substance, binding stuff behind them. Then how do the actions take place? If his own desire is not there, own will is not there, sankalpa is not there, then how do these karmas take place in the first place? Bhashyakara says, pravruttena chet loka sangrahartham nivruttena chet jivanamatrartham. In these verses, Lord Krishna is going to describe two kinds of wise people. Pravruttena chet, a wise person who is pravrutta, who is quite active. Nivruttena chet, there can be a wise person who is withdrawn from activity. So one is in the midst of activities in the vyavahara, other one is away from vyavahara. Both are equal as far as wisdom is concerned. Then what makes them what they are? Is that prarabdha? So we will have a chance to discuss that. But so because of prarabdha, one finds oneself as doing things, pravruttena chet. With prarabdha, one finds that one doesn't do anything, nivruttena chet. Pravruttena chet loka sangrahartham. Because the person has no agenda of his own. He has nothing to accomplish his own as far as he is concerned. By performing action, it doesn't stand to gain or lose anything at the personal level. Meaning that his consumerness is gone completely. He is a totally non-demanding person. And therefore the karma is not performed to fulfill any demand. Then he becomes totally a contributor. Meaning actions are performed merely as an offering. It's called loka sangrahatham. It will be for the well-being of the society. See, technically loka sangraha means putting the people on the right path. People who are being astray from the path of dharma, putting them back on the path of dharma is called loka sangraha. But let us simplify that wise person's actions are loka sangraha, simply for the well-being of loka or well-being of the people, well-being of the society. He is a totally contributor. Pravruttena chet. But that is not out of compulsion. When the loka sangraha or the actions of offered to society as a well-being of the society, to Ishvara. He is also without compulsion, effortlessly, you can say spontaneously. And because of prarabdha, nivrittena ched, it is quite likely that this person doesn't do anything like outwardly. One person is outwardly very active, contributing. Other person is outwardly doing nothing. And still in wisdom, even in contribution also, both are sort of similar. Because they contribute just by being there, they don't need to do things also. A wise person, just by being there, he is going to be embodiment of goodness and kindness and compassion. And therefore, naturally, the thoughts of well-being will emerge from that person. And they will bless. So this person is a blessing just by being there. So, meaning that person doesn't need to do outwardly to bless. But if the prarabdha so requires, that actions are performed outwardly also to bless. But there can be a wise person who does not appear to be outwardly doing anything particular in terms of helping or working with the society. Jivana matrartham, if at all he performs actions, jivana matrartham, for sustaining his body. Because the body is something that is given by Ishvara, and he does not look upon that as belonging to him, as a gift given by Ishvara, which is to be used for Ishvara. And therefore this much this person does, that he does take care of the body. Jivana matrartham. Meaning that he does not deliberately let the body get destroyed or something. He takes care of the body as much as possible. So whether he is not an active person in the usual sense, or a very active person, yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. All his samarambha, all his undertakings, or absence of undertaking. The mark of wisdom is kama sankalpa varjita. No sankalpa, no complex about oneself, nor any complex about anything else. And therefore, no desire born of complex. There may be desire also in a wise person, but not born of complex about oneself, not born of need about oneself. If there is a desire, loka sangratham, it may be desire for doing good to others, that kind of desire can be there, but without sankalpa. So yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. So this is how the knowledge of seeing akarma and karma results into the life of the person. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. So Lord Krishna describes himself as Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. Jnanagnina dagdha karmani. When all actions are burned by Jnanagni, by the fire of knowledge, whose actions are burned by the fire of knowledge. What is meant by burned? We said that actions really become only muda chesta matraha. Like removing the fang from a snake. The kama and sankalpa from action has been removed. Therefore, even though outwardly appears to perform actions, there is no real action. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. all his karmas are burned by the fire of knowledge. Or you can say that karma is burned because the kartrutvam is burned. The knowledge of self enables him to see that I am the actionless self. Neva kinchit karomiti, I do not do anything. So even while performing actions, he knows I do not do anything. So his actions do not involve kartrutva, doership. Then what is it? Therefore, mudha chesta matraha. Therefore, all his karmas are burned. Meaning that the karmas have no binding capacity. They are all non-binding actions. Because the bondage is burned by the knowledge of the self. And therefore, he is free even while performing the actions. Tamahuhu panditam buddhaha. Buddha, other wise people call him pandita, call him wise. He is declared as wise by other wise people. Other wise people. Not other wise people, other wise people. Our Swami used to joke sometimes in the past. Who calls him Maharshi? My XYZ, His driver calls him. Who gave you this title? It's important. Who calls you Pandita? So if you be called Pandita and Bhagavan and so forth by some people, but no, he is called Panditam. He is called Pandita by Buddha, by the wise people. So those who have this knowledge, they declared him to be Pandita, to a wise person. Meaning the wise people recognize another wise person, and therefore they call him Pandita. So here Lord Krishna presents sort of this as a pramanam. That what we are saying, what I am saying is right because it is confirmed or verified by other wise people. Then they also call him Pandita. Panda means Brahma Vidya. Asyasti or ita Pandamita. One who attained Panda, Brahma Vidya, the Brahma Jnana is called Pandita. And Buddha, otherwise people call him Pandita. Tamahu Panditam Buddha. We'll take a break and we'll see you again. Om.